Hello, welcome back to Summoner Scuffle. Today is BazzoFormidable versus Punkbeam. With it's the Fungal Dwarves versus Swamp Orcs. That's what we decided on. Do you remember who's running which one, Fuzzy?
Oh yeah, Bazzo is running Fungal Dwarves and Punkbeam is running Swamp Orcs. And this is what the community decided they wanted to see.
And we were
It was a
so
pretty close
close,
vote.
so close to Eternal Council and Obsidian Dwarves, and just
I was already prepping for that one. I was mentally going through the matchup but hey, this is
that
what we get when we let the community vote.
yeah,
And
that one
this
would
is
have
what
been
we get for
hard.
showcasing the faction randomizer too on swzone.com. We picked three matchups and let the community choose, or we let the randomizer roll three random matchups and we let the community on Discord vote on which one they wanted to see. And they decided they wanted the fungal infestation versus um the tar pits. So we'll see which of these extremely savory factions wins out and gets to be the one that invades
Yeah,
civilization.
two growth factions versus each other. A similar sort. I mean, Colby would call them both garden decks, and I guess that's all you need to know.
Oh my gosh, if my garden looked like that, my kids would never eat anything from it again.
Lots of mushrooms, lots of. It seems good. Yeah, and
All right.
I'm excited for this matchup. Just as like anyone that like seems to have a favored matchup against the Fungal Dwarves, or that can like take on the Fungal Dwarves, like excites me. Like the idea of like, oh, like this is these guys like Fungal Dwarves can maybe struggle against this or something. That always gets me excited. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me do. Let's chat about the Fungal Dwarves. And then Swamp Orcs, and then like what we're expecting from this matchup. So Fungal Dwarves are really weird. They're like maybe the most unique deck in like a certain sense of like they're sort of doing this their own like econ engine thing, and they take a very particular playstyle to play against. So every time a unit dies within two spaces of cooldown, it boosts every other friendly unit within two spaces of cooldown. Um, and so you have these spore carriers that if they ever get three boosts at the end of the turn, they rupture and become fungal beasts. Fungal beasts infects when they attack a friend when they destroy another unit, friendly or enemy, it turns into a carrier. Note they don't have soulless like Fallen Kingdom does, so you still get magic for doing that. And that's basically the deck. Once you've read those three cards, you see the game plan. It's just absolute overrun mushrooms everywhere. You got some more units that help you add boost. Got some units that help you move around boosts. You got the monstrosity, which just is a 5/13 that comes in if you ever have a beast with five boosts. Um, you have an event that lets you attack again, and then destroy the target. But just everything else just sort of facilitates this beast and carrier engine. And it can be tough to pilot against. Like you really, in order to play against them, you really have to play around infects. Cool Deck is going to have all sorts of units on the board at all times. You want to like make him suffer for having too many units, like limited to only three moves, move back, move around, so he can't get to where he needs to be. I'm sure we'll be talking about this more, but it's a very particular style you need to take against Kuldak because you just to avoid getting overrun by the beasts and carriers. Anything to add to that real quick?
Let's go on to the swamp orcs. I should say the fungal dwarves are probably one of the more historically hated decks when people are first learning the decks in general and playing Summoner Wars, and they go, "What the hell is this thing? How did this infestation happen? Why is my board overrun? These guys are overpowered. They need a nerf."
Yeah,
But we'll get to Swamp Orcs because Swamp Orcs has a lot of ways to just slice through them.
they sure do. And way number one is Muglug. So you have a lot of commons that are all getting boosts some way or another, and Muglug can just take one boost from any number of commons within range 3 of her to just do 1 extra damage. No cap on that, and she has Far Strike, so she can attack up to 2 spaces away. So it's not uncommon to see her hitting for like 8 or 9 damage. And yeah, you have Bog Shamans that are accumulating boosts. You have Bog Witches that can give Muglug extra attack. Vine Mancers that can pull enemy commons or any of your own units during the attack phase, which attack phase movement is always incredibly strong, and this is a very versatile version of that. Mud Drudgers that can just protect Muglug. You can heal Muglug. You have Vine Gates that boost units. But then some of the real juice is this event Emerge that allows you to take boosts off of your commons to retrieve a champion and also play a champion for cheaper. And so your deck is very champion heavy. And your champions are all just kind of good. And champions are one of the big strategies to use against fungal dwarves. In order to prevent infects, you want units with high health, and Muglug can get out champions really easily. So if I had to guess that this matchup, that the strategy is just kind of only expose Muglug and champions as much as you can, and just limit infects and just keep pounding beasts over and over again. It's kind of what Muglug wants to do anyway, so it shouldn't even be that like weird for her.
I think a lot of times with excuse me, with these matchups, I'll comment on who gets to play their game. So I would say Muglug gets to do exactly what she wants to do, most likely. She wants to one-shot beast. I mean, she wants to one-shot anything. Fungal dwarves might have to adjust. Fungal dwarves really want to sit back and grow their little colony and not be disturbed. And even though Muglug is also trying in the early game to grow her swamp, I think she's got more disruption tools than fungal dwarves because Muglug's on the board from the start. You know, Muglug can pretty easily get an attack in right from the jump, and fungal dwarves has to immediately respond to that. So we'll see. This I have 2 reasons actually for favoring swamp orcs in this one. 3 reasons. One reason is the experts in the community who wrote the How to Defeat Fungal Dwarves guide
I don't know who those idiots are.
from swzone.com actually favor Muglug. Second reason is watching some tournament games. The swamp orcs can get going faster, I think, than the fungal dwarves. And the third reason is it is 7 a.m. right now here on Pacific time, and we have Bazzo, our fungal dwarves player, an hour ahead of Punkbeam, our swamp
Ooh,
orcs player. So I'll give time zone and alertness advantage to swamp orcs in this game.
yes. I'm awake. We're doing this.
I'm kind of awake.
I'm kind of awake.
I,
Yeah, and like Muglug, I'm kind of still new to Muglug, so like it's still some guesswork here, but like it seems interesting to me with like a lot of the times when I'm playing Muglug, I feel like I have to take the midfield because I need to like have the swamp set around the midfield. Like honestly, I feel like Muglug can probably sit back this game and like probably like force Cooldock to come to her so she can set up all she wants. Cooldock's the one exposing himself. I don't know. I'm excited.
we'll see how these guys play. I want to see some unhinged play from both of them. I don't think that'll happen, but you know, that's how I would be at 7 in the
Yeah.
morning. You know, do I want to die falling asleep or do I want to just die going all out completely unhinged? All right, are we ready to kick this off? They're ready.
We sure are. They're already talking some sort of trash. I don't know what's going on. I hear these two people are related to each other. Is that right?
That is right. And that's part of the reason I wanted to have them on. They are brothers and they started playing this game together. And I just find it fascinating. They have at least an 82 history against each other. And you know, I don't know what it's like to have that kind of best friend, arch rival, the person that's either going to stab your back or at your back. It's not clear which. So it's going to be fun to have these guys duel it out, and it's also really going to be fun to talk to them afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. It's
All right,
it's
they're chomping at the bit.
yeah. It's nice to have someone like so close in skill level to yourself. Like that's sort of like the dream to just to have that one friend that is just perfectly matched or something.
I think that's what makes learning the game so enjoyable is when you really have that person. And a lot of people play with their spouses. I
Yeah.
feel like there's this hidden, player base that we never see or talk to. It's just the people that play at home and don't go on the Discord. And this game's got a lot of legs, but I actually know nothing about what the dynamic is like because as soon as usually as soon as the husband hops on the Discord, then the dynamic changes.
Yeah.
Then one person is either itching to play online or playing online.
Yeah. And it looks
Um,
like I have the link up right now. So
nice.
let's get started. Looks like Swamp Orcs are taking the first move. That's probably
Ooh.
good. It's probably good.
I think the
Uh,
advantages are starting to pile on for Swamp Orcs.
we're already calling the game. You know, it's over pretty much. Like you can you can tune out right now. Um,
Hey, there's got to be a champ and an underdog. That's what keeps this game exciting.
yeah, but like this, I don't know. Fungal dwarfs are like they can always pop off. Like there's matches where it's tough, but like they can always find a way. And it's also just like I don't know. They like similar to cloaks. They're just very high complexity faction. You really have to like be in the know about how to play against them, what the strategy is. And so like it's I don't know. It's just easy. It's just easy to overrun someone unless they're really trying hard. All right, Muglug's going full aggro. Just like putting whatever I was saying just completely to rest. I don't know what I'm doing. And I
I
suppose it.
think Muglug is the easier one to play early in the morning, and I'm just gonna hammer on this until I wake up. Like Muglug, you can just you do want to keep your commons protected. You can't totally go ham. But definitely Muglug can go ham in this particular matchup a little more than in some of the others that can explode right out the gate. So
Yeah.
she wanted, or that Vinemancer, she wanted the carrier kill, didn't quite get it. Um, I mean, this is pretty much what you'd expect as an opening. Muglug is the big attacking force. Her commons are really support units, and she wants to get those champs out. In this particular case, we'll see what Bazzo responds with. But Muglug's units are pretty exposed. Those are 3 health commons. But we'll see what he has in his hand and how he wants to play this. Whether he wants to do kind of that classic, carrier attacks, beast kills carrier, carrier attack, attacks again, carrier dies. Nope. I think this is what I would have done too, actually. I would have felt like I had to counter. Like I don't have time to waste here. Hope for the beast to kill the bog shaman, get rid of those boosts. Nope, he's going to do
Oh,
it.
not
All right, he's
quite.
going for the Vine
Yeah,
Dancer.
and shame there's not another carrier in there somewhere.
Yep.
Um, like it's yeah, for Fungal
Okay,
Dwarfs, I
so
think.
he wanted 4 swords on the Vinemancer, get her out of the way first. That's probably the consensus best common in Muglug's arsenal because of how she can move units around. And this is the classic opening. In one form or another with Fungal Dwarves, you want to be getting some amount of self kills in so the beast gets boosts and doesn't tick down and lose a health. So that's kind of the timer on the Fungal Dwarves, is that the beasts need to eat. And if they can't eat enemy units, they need to eat themselves. And if Koldak units aren't dying at a reasonable rate, then the beasts start ticking down. All right, so let's see what's happening. We're moving the swamp up. I like an aggressive swamp.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like the purpose here is to stop Cooldock in his tracks. Like, don't let Cooldock waltz down into the midboard, plop down a gate, and just like set up the engine right around him. Like, you take the initiative, force Cooldock to set up the engine farther in the back. That's just a great strategy against him in general. It just like gives you a lot of potential advantages. One, you're not just being surrounded by the horde, you have places to go. Two, if Muglug ever decides to retreat or move somewhere else, and Cooldock has already built up his engine around him, it's going to be tough for him to change that. Um, like if Muglug decides to retreat, not I mean she's a melee summoner, but like even move to the side and Cooldock has like 6 units built around him. It's like, well, crap, now I got to go to that other side. And so I like putting the pressure on Cooldock quick, just to stop him in his tracks.
I agree, especially in this matchup. Well, these are both fairly low mobility factions.
Yeah.
I would love for Stim Shrooms to be the star. I would love for that card to shine in this game.
Yeah, yeah. And we're seeing right away just Muglug plants herself right in the line of fire, a Drudger behind her, and can't be stopped. And they damage Muglug this turn. Maybe she'll just regenerate next turn. Like, Muglug can sit and eat beasts for quite a while, and Coolduck doesn't really have the burst damage to punish. Like, he does have demand, and that could come out, but like, you don't really want to be demanding your own units in the early game unless like there's a beast coming out of it at least or something, and so it could really shoot them in the economic foot. Oh my goodness, I'm here talking and that's 6 dice on Coolduck.
Yeah. There are many factions that can assassinate Colduk, and usually Colduk is, Colduk wants to be protected by a wall of beasts, but this is very early for him to be down to 6 health.
Yeah, and that's just gonna this could be over real quick. That's just absolutely brutal. Um, yeah, I don't know why my sound's not working. Oh well, no sound this game. Sorry guys. I'll fix
I
that
can hear
later.
you.
Yeah, my the game sound. I can't get it to go through, but that's okay.
I
Yeah.
always play with it turned off. For all that we're getting excited about this matchup, I get distracted. Like, I'm the person that if I were taking a foul shot at a basketball game and like all those things were waving around in the audience, I lose
Yeah.
my mind. I play with the sound off.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I did for a while because like I started just playing in person, and I don't know, like I'd usually pull up a turn when I'm like, I don't know, like I'd be like around friends or something, just like sitting on a couch, and so I wouldn't have the sound on. But then, eventually, now I'm used to it, so now it's weird without it. Yeah, so I feel like because I don't know Muglug that much, like I'm sort of like sleeping on like the stars of her show, but like Vine Mancers are just nuts. They're just amazing. Like they are so useful. Like you can use them to pull Muglug, you can use them to pull the unit blocking Cooldak from in front of him, and just like that 6 early damage is just it's just insane. It's just a massive swing in Muglug's favor. Like Cooldak needs to be so much more careful, and he really just can't afford to. In the early game is when Cooldak is the most vulnerable. Like he sort of needs to put himself out there and take some risks in order to set himself up well. And if those risks kill him on turn 5, like he's just SOL.
I think that's what generally makes Fungal Dwarf games interesting is can he build up his army or not? Will he die early or will he start that inevitable mushroom swing? So Bazzo is not running and hiding. He could have swung Koldak behind that gate and retreated. And I think he feels like he needs to put some damage in. The best defense is a good offense.
Yeah. I think he was
Is that's
considered.
an exposed call? That's an exposed Koldak. Yeah, let's.
For sure. Like even a bog witch, because bog witches can normally only give Mugglug an extra attack if they have two boosts. But we've got two of them right now.
All right, Demand's
Three of
coming
Vine
out.
Gates.
Let's see what he's. Okay.
That seems a little bit scary. I guess just getting a yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure about that play. I guess just getting the boost on the beasts, saving some health, not thinking you need that forward spot. It feels tough to give up that forward spot to me.
I think that's what it looks like.
Is
But
this
that's
is this game
one
about to
that's
end?
one powerful tool right out of its arsenal. And that's also a Vinemancer that didn't die to the beast's 3 attack. Like that coin, there are definitely times when I'm behind where I'll just go for that coin flick. Like, I need 3 out of 3. Give me the 3 out of 3. I'm dead anyway without it. So all right, so we've got that witch. Muglug, are we really going to see Muglug put this away in 10 minutes?
I- Come
Oh, we've
on.
got some talk going on in chat. Here we go.
It's I'm seeing like 5 damage right now. I mean I guess they already if you move the Bog Shaman up before the Vine Mancer moves, um no, that doesn't really matter because the first attack is gonna kill anyways. Yeah, it looks like 5 damage. No, 6 damage. What am I saying? That's 6 on Coolduck. I can count 1, 2, 3. That's 3 more damage. Muglug does. So the Bog Witch first attack can attack the Fungal Beast, and then Muglug can just attack again and just punch Coolduck. Oh yeah, I guess if that goes 2 for 2, that's good as well. Nope, didn't get it. If that went 2 for 2, that was just like guaranteed GG, because 9 melee dice would absolutely kill Coolduck right now.
It is eerily silent without the game sounds. All right.
All right.
This is like watching a movie. Oh,
Good game. Good stuff.
GG.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Do you think do you want to offer them a rematch?
I think they should take the rematch and switch sides.
Ooh.
All right, they're offering each other a rematch. I'm gonna say yes. Let's put them out of their suspense.
Do you want to offer them to switch sides or keep it same?
Yes. Yeah, can we do that? I'm gonna type that.
Okay, I'll let you do it. See if we can kill Cooldock twice in one day. But that's there's nothing like I'm not gonna sit here being like, oh, Bazzo misplayed. Like he didn't. Like it's a tough. I mean, like I'm sure if I went like play for play, like maybe there's things I would have done differently, but maybe I would have died even sooner. Like it's a tough matchup, and you have to expose Cooldock in the beginning, and that will get you killed. That's just like that's why Cooldock just loses against Shadow Elves, because you have to get him up here, got to expose him, and Shadow Elves can just eat him for breakfast.
All right. Bazzo is saying in chat his starting hand was both demands, release spores, and a gate.
See, that's just a massive skill issue. Both demands, release spores, and a gate. That's yeah, huh.
All right. I think maybe Bazzo wants a rematch as Fungal Dwarves with a decent starting hand. Let's see what these guys decide.
Yeah, we'll start up another one in a second here. I mean, but sometimes that's just the name. Like fungal dwarves, you really suffer from draws. You gotta. I love. I'm just like painting this narrative of like fungal dwarves suck. Like, come on, guys. Like we gotta. We can all beat them. We can beat them together. But like they have a
This
tough
is the
starting
hate
hand.
reel for people who hate Fungal Dwarves. They can just rewatch this stream over and over again and just watch Fungal get destroyed.
Yeah, yeah. No, there should just like be some like compilation like ASMR of just cool dock being destroyed.
Is that what ASMR is? You just watch summoners die?
Just all the dice on cool dock. Yeah, goodness, I've been running this cool dock deck build that like runs 2 blood summons and 2 onyx tomes. Sorry, and it's just like insane in deck building right now. Like I just have a bunch of 2-cost units and essentially 4 blood summons, and I just can summon all of my units for free all of the time.
All right. Well, we're letting these guys decide whether they want to switch sides. I gunked it up by offering before I realized how bad Bazzo's starting hand was as Koldak, and Punkbeam actually got a really good starting hand. You saw those 2 Vine Gates come out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So while we're kind of, we're clowning the summoners, not the players, just to be clear.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm happy to see someone edit together a Koldak hate reel, but I would never do that to the players.
I'll make the like Orange Laz compilation losses or something.
All right, we need a decision. They're actually offering to play Eternal Council Obsidian Dwarves as well. I kinda. Ooh. All right, I need to know what people want, not what the options are.
If they want, I mean, we could do a quick overview of those 2 factions. I was thinking we stick to these.
The hilarious thing is that one could also. I mean, I don't think that one would go this fast.
It could go pretty fast.
No, it's another one that's a who's going to get their cannon set up first. All right, are we all in that mindset? Okay, the way this is going, we might get all 3. Should we just go for the sprint?
Sure. Like I don't, I'm here for a good time. Like whatever works. Okay, so in the I'll wait a second, but in the event that we switch to Eternal Council versus Obsidian Dwarves, I can go over those factions again really quick.
I think since we're live, we just do it. So okay, Ben, you know what? It's on you. I'm gonna make you decide. Because they're open to anything, I'm open to anything, and you're the one that's been putting all the work in.
It looks like
what flavor ice cream would you want, Ben?
It looks like they just decided, so I'm spared from this monstrosity. So
all right, there we go. Your ice cream has been ordered for you.
Looks like we're playing Eternal Council versus Obsidian Dwarves. That's good stuff. So like real quick,
Let's just jump in. Let's not do this. Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll wait for the invite link. Once I see that, I'll pull it up. But
all right, Bazzo says he just sent it.
Yeah, Eternal Council Ultimate. Okay, fine, whatever. I see the link. Never mind. No overview for you. We're just getting into it.
Now we're gonna do like 800 years worth of lore and talk through each century and each king or queen that died and conquered a little piece of territory. And we'll give the entire narrative history of the factions before we jump into the game.
All right, but we won't talk about any of the cards or what they do. All right, what's the lore? Let me hear it. I'm all ears.
I thought we were gonna play a game. I'm waiting for turn 1.
All right. I guess
my
guess no lore. I want the lore.
Oh my goodness, we do. Astrocosmos did write lore about this in the fanfiction channel.
Let me hear it. What's the TLDR?
Oh my goodness, I have to remember now. These guys are no, it was the Eternal Council set Balzar up with his Hellforge. They wanted some balance in Intharia and figured that Balzar would be a good rival to Rhett Talus. So they had all these machinations going on behind the scenes.
Huh, that seems pretty evil.
No, I love that these factions are neither pure good nor pure evil. I actually really do want to put a plug in for the fan fiction channel. That actually was one of the more fun the more like flavorful, interesting stories in that channel. You have to scroll up a bit. We've got a couple battle reports that are kind of short and fun to write, and then we have these people, King Zora and Astrocosmos, that have been building up kind of these deep histories and backstories of their favored factions. So even though this game is going on, I will put a plug in. There is some, quite excellent writing in that channel. And there's also some quick writing. Like, I'm just going to dash this off because it's fun. So pick your flavor. And anyone who's interested in writing fanfic, don't ask our permission. No one's in charge of the lore. We're just writing it as we go. We had Tron Ho Ming interested in all these elvish languages, and he's asking us what the lore is, and I'm like, the lore is what you make it out to be. The lore is yours. Colby isn't giving us any lore.
Yeah,
Colby is not giving us lore, so we have to dole it out ourselves.
I really like that, honestly. Just like because you look at these factions and just like their beautiful art, and you feel like there's a story there. So I love that we're coming up with it together.
Well, in the absence of people from Plaid Hat telling us the story, we are writing the story, and we're also watching a game.
Uh, we sure are. So starting out getting some Balthar boosts, taking the coward's way out and deciding to spend a boost instead of damaging Balzar to Blaze Step. That's okay. Maybe not. Damage Balzar. Come on, do it. Damage Balzar. You got it. All right, we're deciding. But this matchup is essentially two cannons against each other. Balzar. Wow, you just leaving Balzar exposed? That's a hot
Are you
take. I mean,
serious?
I guess like because
Well,
it's
I guess
Eternal Council.
the
Yeah,
knight's only 2 attack.
it could be 8. It could be 8 attack. Like with an Edium shift, like it's a decent chance it's not. But Balzar, I mean, as you accumulate specials, you do more damage. You spend boosts with various things, and you have this one card, Volcanic Blast, that you can spend up to 4 special or up to 4 boosts to just damage everything around you for that amount of damage or how many boosts you spent. And so he can just sort of walk up to you and kill you in a turn. So like wherever everything within 2 of him, the Cooldock Diamond is now just the Balzar Death Diamond. You got to be afraid, but only when he's at high boosts, and he's very volatile to like get a bunch of boosts or just lose some. And Eternal Council is sort of the ultimate combo deck. They've just got a bunch of these events here that will help them draw cards, and then they do extra damage for cards they've drawn. They damage enemy units for cards they've drawn. They can steal enemy events. They get boosts on Edia um, to perpetuate those events. So like you sort of have a game plan of just like at the end of the game you have an Edia sitting with 8 attack for like 6 turns in a row, and then you have Dominus Katu who can just become a 7/10. But in short, it's kind of just like mutually assured destruction of like 2 summoners that can just if they ever collide, like it's gonna be like half a turn, and then
It's like
they're
matter versus antimatter.
basically. Um,
Kind of hosed Bazzo with the Thinky factions. Like, not that any of these factions are mindless, but Eternal Council, you're constantly balancing your resources, deciding what to do with all that card draw. And Obsidian Dwarves, again, not like it's mindless. It is a gambling casino deck, like people say.
yeah.
But there's definitely a charge forward mindset that I think is harder to get into with a thinky faction like Eternal Council. Like Eternal Council, I'm always second guessing myself. Obsidian Dwarves, I think it's easier for me to just be like, go.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean that's sort of what you have to be comfortable doing with Obsidian Dwarves is just saying go and just getting up there. And you have to
Eternal Council, that's a good way to get yourself killed.
yeah. And Eternal Council can do it tactily. Like Edia just attacked and then was pushed behind a gate by the Citadel advisor. So you can attack with Edia, and then push her to safety. And that's a lot of the name of the game. Well, Balzar is just, I'm charging in there, and if I die, like, whatever. I don't care.
If I die, I go out in a blaze of
Yeah.
glory.
Yeah.
We had to stick the early morning guy with the you need coffee factions.
Yeah, Eddie is tough. Like, I feel like the more I play her, the more I'm just like, oh, this faction's hard. Like, I thought I was really good at her, and then I'm just like, I just keep like getting to like the end of my deck, and I'm like, wait, I can't draw cards if there's no cards in my deck.
I find it really hard to get to Dominus Katu in endgame with Edia. I mean, it's a solid,
Oh my goodness.
reward.
Bazzo just can't cut a break today. Double chains plus axe is 7. Like, I would have thought Eddie was safe there.
So did I.
Like, all right. I mean, and this is tough. Like, they gotta, Bazzo's gotta fend off these units. I mean, they're both gonna take a damage at the start of their turn, but like, normally it's weird to like leave this other gate occupied. If this other gate like was occupied, that would like kind of just be game. You gonna blaze step now? All right, all right. Oh, and Psychic Assault should be able to just rip through everything. And they're both going to take a damage at the start of the next turn if you miss some stuff.
Oh, Eddie has definitely got tools. It's painful seeing her down to 6 health though, because what you want to do is let loose with her 8 ranged attack and insight, the big insight turn. Now at this point, that's almost the game finisher. She doesn't necessarily survive more than 1 turn of that. But let's see if Psychic Assault can keep her in it long enough to get to that point. And it's hard doing this under pressure, too. Eternal Council is really the last faction I want to be thinking through my options while on a 45-minute clock.
Yeah.
While playing live. This is the one of the games that I can just sit there playing async and taking forever. Right, that demon is not going to live another day. So
Is
Eddie won't get the magic for it, but at least it won't be in her face
uh
because it'll go out in a mold
actually,
of.
I think she can kill it with the draw phase draw with Psychic
Oh, that's
Assault.
right.
So get the magic. Oh, just kidding. Not if she's over there. I mean, maybe she. Yeah.
Oh,
No, I'd get the magic. No.
he's deciding. He's deciding.
Pushing.
Do
Oh,
I want the
maybe
magic or?
maybe yeah, they wanted to bury another card. They really wanted to bury 2 cards that turn. That's interesting. Normally I'm like, just bury Dominus Katu, and other than that, I don't really care. I feel
Some
like,
decision he's wrestling with. I think there must be something he doesn't want to bury.
yeah. There we
Oh,
go.
okay, he
That's
wants
it.
that demon dead. He wants the magic. That's always one of those painful calculations. Do I need the magic? Do I need the magic more, or do I need to bury the card more?
Yeah, for sure.
But he's sitting at 6 magic, so that's um, one piece of advantage. So this in this case, it's too early to call econ. I think based on the board state, but based on what we know of the factions, definitely Balzar is generally not playing for endgame. Um,
Yeah, but like, I mean, if he just overruns the board,
exactly. It really doesn't matter if he's.
yeah, he can go wild.
Yeah. But Adia can hopefully summon a champ or. Oh, I don't really want Malunar in this game.
Yeah. Do you ever, how do you feel about Ovi? You feel like you get him out frequently or no?
one of those champs where when I'm playing Eternal Council, he dies in 2 turns, and when someone's playing against me, he's a nightmare and a menace, getting off ridiculous attacks.
Yeah, that's my experience as well, actually.
I mean, really, I guess depends on what. Yeah, Ovi's not really like a ranged champion is not necessarily what I want right now. Although Malunar, I have a grudge against because he, um, most of the time he's just stats. Most of the time his ability is pretty easy to circumvent. But
Except
I
when
would
it's
not
not.
mind a melee guy right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I've had some games as uh I say Malinar. I'm sure Colby has not issued an official pronunciation where like just like against me where it's like, oh crap, like now I think it was some deck building games, though it didn't like have to be, where it was like I really wanted to just do a bunch of renewed hope stuff, and Malinar was just like sitting in front of Sarah, and it was like,
Nice.
well crap, I guess I'm not doing that. Um
All right, 2 sages. Come on, 2 sages. That's what I would want.
Ovi and Seek. Yeah,
All
you
right,
don't you
one
don't really.
sage and 1 sage and we're being kept in suspense. What happens next?
I feel like I almost want like low health units. Like I don't love putting a champion against Balzar. I feel like there's some dynamics there where like there's certain factions and Swamp Orcs is one of them too, where it's just like I want to be really careful if I'm playing a champion because it could kind of just die in a turn and then I've just lost a ton of value.
Yes. Balzar is getting to
Hey,
that point
Scotland.
where he's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like this. Like, just get the damage. You know, I wouldn't call any of these commons disposable, but Scholar is really the closest thing you have to just a 1 turn unit.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. I mean, honestly, I'd rather that Enigma Sage be like any other unit because it's probably gonna die, but good chance they didn't really have another option in there.
At least it can potentially. Actually, that's annoying because if it kills the guard and if it kills both guards, that's not especially helpful.
Yeah, I
But
can't
at
shoot
least it
through.
could. It can get 2 attacks in. Well, it guarantees pretty well that both guards are dead.
Yeah,
Not that it actually needed it, and now it doesn't have to bury a card.
yeah, and I mean, Eddie's just doing the classic like play against cave goblins sort of thing where you just
Oh, it
put
really
some
is. That's
put some
actually a
units
really
there.
good analogy. Like, just survive the onslaught. I don't care
What?
how.
Yeah, whatever. Destroy all my units. I don't care. I just need to stop you from volcanic blasting in Edia's face.
That about sums it up.
We'll see if there's a blast this turn. That could be pretty brutal, but like Balzar is encountering the classic issue of if I don't have a gate, I'm dead. And even a gate here, like the Enigma Sage is occupying the spot that I'd probably want to put the gate with Balzar, so it's
Yep.
gonna be tough. Which is interestingly, that's sort of the same place I like to put the gate with Cool Dock. It's funny seeing these parallels, but like either to the left of where Balzar is right now, or I mean sometimes even a space above that if you can swing it, but like I like to have that like side gate as kind of protection, but also pushing. That I've sort of settled on that as the best spot for Cool Dock's gate. I don't know when I settled on that, but I appear to be just always doing that when I can.
I feel like gate placement is one of the most difficult aspects of the game to dial in because it's one of the hardest to figure out, did I do this right or wrong?
For
Was
sure.
this good or bad?
For
There's
sure.
so
Yeah.
many other variables connected with gate placement that it's definitely, I mean, I definitely, I'm with you mainly because I've been destroyed by forward Balzars with that gate in the same column as my gate.
Mm.
It's kind of sheltered. It gives him a good launching spot. And It's often not that easy to destroy, and it looks like well, we don't know yet whether he has a gate, so let's see what he actually does.
Yeah, I mean, and the gate game becomes ever more pressing with these aggressive factions. Like,
Yes.
if you're playing against Balzar and he has a gate and your gates are bottom five, like, you're gonna be in a tough spot.
Oh, this looks like he wants to blast.
Yeah, I'd be amazed if there's no blast here. Balzar's gonna be exposed, but he's not gonna be up against as much crap as it would be normally. Could this main gate go down this turn? Probably not. No, that says 6. If the Oathsworn like swung on that sage and I don't know, like maybe this main gate can go down. I don't really know how the Balzar math works. Like Oathsworn gets one special, Balzar blows up everything and then shoots the gate. It's not quite good enough. You probably still attack with Oathsworn first. Just get 3 specials with Oathsworn. Easy. That's all it takes. Let's see
I
it.
think Punkbeam's made up his mind and is just psyching himself up to click the button.
Yeah, no, and then you blow up everything for 3, you attack the gate for another 2, you pull the guard to attack the gate. That's 4 dice on a 3 health gate. Seems pretty solid. Volcanic Blast goes to Edia's hand. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's kind of funny. She could use that, I guess.
If she survives.
Yeah, I mean it's not good value for Edia since it's a lot harder for her to get boost than for Balzar, but like that could I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Well, what we're all rooting for at this point is some huge insight volcanic blast turn.
Yeah. Ooh, I mean, at least you got some boost there. Um, Not taking out that gate's a little bit rough, but like honestly, there's already other gates, so like you kind of get some cover by not taking out that gate. So I don't even know if you're that mad about it right now.
Oh, enemy gates as cover is one of the best things about this game.
For sure. Yeah, say more. Like what makes you like it?
All right, let's see what Edia's response is. Now, lore-wise, she would definitely be regretting helping Balzar out. She would definitely be regretting trying to set up this fine-tuned balance between Balzar and Retalis and trying to sculpt these forces so that no one has advantage. But in terms of game plan, all right.
I
So
mean, just
Balzar,
yeah.
no, I mean it's triage. All right, all right.
Seek or no seek. I mean, but it's pretty easy to just get some shots on Balzar right now. Like, I'd probably go for that to make him sweat a little bit. Like, you can kill the Emperor Guard, but like, I don't know. I like to damage
I
Balzar.
mean, you could kill the Oathsworn. I
That's
always
true.
having to
That's true.
choose between that Oathsworn I want dead and it's easily killable versus Balzar's in my face and I need to do something to scare him a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, I like the Mind Knight. Yeah, I like this. It's area control.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried for Balzar. I mean, he's done what he needed to do. He's gotten to the other side, but like, please draw a gate. Like, we needed a gate
Are
yesterday.
you
Come on.
rooting for Balzar?
I'm always rooting for Balzar. I love Balzar. I'm always rooting for him because when I play him, I always feel like I'm struggling, and I just a little bit more, and I'll get there. I need that gate. I need that gate. Edia sees the writing on the wall and clears out from behind that gate. That's a smart move.
I think two Mind Knights are definitely better than one. One is a lot easier to play around. All right, so we've got that little bit of damage going against Balzar. We still have that Oathsworn around to give him boosts, and that Sage is really not a unit you want to die in one turn.
Sorry, I feel like I missed something here. Oh, I see. No, that was yeah. No. Good stuff. I mean, Balthar took 3 damage. That's you take that. The
Absolutely.
Oathsworn is alive. Yeah, Balthar, where's your gate? Come on. I want it. I don't even, yeah, I feel like you could like write an essay about like where you would even place the gate in this circumstance. Like, there's no obvious choice to me.
No. You could write a very short essay. There is really no obvious choice of where to place this gate.
I mean, like, I'd probably go up a space and drop it to the right. I don't know, but Balzar's exposed. It's just sort of Balzar against the world right now, and that is not like he's not
Do
Mug
you,
Bug. He can't heal himself.
do you retreat with Balzar?
You could. I mean, you've did the damage to Edia. Like, if there's just no way, like, if there's no gate in your hand right now, maybe. Like, if there's just no way for you to sustain this push. But I don't know. Balls are still at 10. I feel like you likely got something. Easy, just like double Ember Demon, triple Ember Demon, axe kill or something. I don't know.
I'm taking a guess that's not what he has in his hand.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, even I actually like that a lot. Like just one space back, like you're still in there, but just a little bit less.
We're rethinking.
Does he realize he has 3 Ember Demons in hand? Nope.
That boost on Balzar is
Gate. Oh, this would be great if you move the Ember Guard up a spot and then dropped a gate. Nope, Balzar's coming back. I feel like we're looking at some like unlucky gate draws here. If we go through this turn, that's officially like more than half the deck without a gate. Always sad, and this is like all I'm talking about is the gate, but it matters so much for Balzar.
absolutely.
And yeah, taking out that big gate will make Eternal Council's plays a little bit more awkward, but you know, they're just happy that Eddie is alive right now. Like they will take that.
I always like to see a kind of maligned unit like the Knight getting to shine a little bit, the Mind Knights. Because they're what Eddie has got as far as a protective gate right now. The blocker.
Yeah, I feel like I tend to sleep on them a little bit. Like just I don't know. Like they're the unit I discard the most, but they can get the work in. Like I
A
don't know. Like
lot of these units that we write off as situational, it's good to see the situations where they do shine. Like situational should not be this death knell of the new nice way of saying you don't belong. Situational really should mean, well, there's situations.
yeah.
I mean, this is kind of round one of the battle. I think the dust has settled a little bit. Eddie is still alive, and
Yeah.
maybe let's see, we could get that insight turn.
How is the Balzar Eternal
Oh, yeah.
Council game the game that's going on for longer than the Kuldak Swamp Orcs?
Well, Eddie can prolong the game for a while.
Yeah, I guess so.
Can take her, or Edia can be forced to take her time. Yeah, I don't think Balzar ever wants to really take his time.
Yeah, I
That's not
mean,
entirely true,
I,
but
yeah.
again, I think I'm getting influenced by my head canon and the lore. Like, I do not see Balzar as a patient human being or
Yeah, I mean,
being,
I think the
non-human
only
being.
lore we've got from Colby is that he has daddy issues or something.
I don't even
He's,
know anything about who his daddy is. Like, why, is
yeah,
his daddy the ruler before?
I,
I mean, is he even the first ruler of Obsidian Dwarves, or is there a long lineage?
we need
Oh,
lore.
Basil wants he want I think he wants to pop off some sort of insight turn, but just actually no, he can't. He can't get within range. So I'm just looking stuff up.
It's just getting one
Entirely.
boost off Edia right
No,
now.
oh goodness, is this?
All right, if I was Balzar next turn, I would waltz forward 2 spaces and place a gate if I had it.
Well, this might be the shootout if Bazo's actually thinking I just need to go 10 out of 10.
There's no way. Is there really
There's
10
no
dice right
way.
now? Yeah, no, there are 10 dice. But there's no way your odds are that bad. I'm thinking that you just hit,
No.
hit hit the guard and then get pushed to the side a little bit.
Okay, there we go. Now this board makes sense.
Yeah. I don't really, but like Edia, her boosts are not as useful when she's dead.
She can volcanic blast for like
If that's how this game ends, I'll be so happy.
oh my goodness. I'm gonna be upset if it doesn't end that way. If
Wait, let
Edia
me.
just like shoots for 8 and then blasts all her remaining boosts.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a way if I can like peek in the discard pile. Okay, I'm peeking in Punkbeam's discard pile, and I don't see Volcanic Blast, so that might mean that Edia buried it or something. I don't know. It also might be one of the unrevealed cards in there. I'm not really sure how it works, but maybe the Volcanic Blast is still part of the dream. And yeah, come on, gate. I need the gate right now. 2 spaces forward, gate. Let's see it. 2 gates even. I could place them
Two
both.
games.
Place them both around that 5 health gate over there. This is the only issue I'm capable of talking about. Like I just really want this gate right now.
And you're talking about gates, and I'm talking about lore, and somewhere there's a battle going on.
Yeah, I'm
This
not
is
not
what
sure where it
happens when we
is.
commentate early in the morning, but I think you, with the gates, have a better bead on this game than I do talking about their personalities.
I really like I want to know more about the Eternal Council. Like what do they do? Like what's their shtick? Like how are they like trying to be the good guys but also kind of doing some bad stuff? Like I'm
Oh, Astros Cosmos has this whole thing going that they're this more ancient race than any of the humans or the elves or anything else in Itharia. Like they're
interesting.
these. All right. What do we got?
We got a gate, please. It'd be so good. That demon's awesome.
Well, the
Eh,
demon's occupying the spot where you wanted to place a gate.
That's true. I could place a gate to the right there. I'm fine with that. I'll settle for that. Um, and if we had like double act, okay, we don't have double. Okay, wait. We've used both chains. What am I? So there's no more chains. I need to accept this. No, Balzer could totally place the Hellforged behind him and give that demon like an axe, give it a chains and also an axe. That's probably not happening. All right, there's definitely a gate here. If that demon's going there, it's coming down. Let's see it. Is it 1? Is it 2? I've been waiting for this moment the entire game. Come on, Balzar, because this like just having the protection of the gate. I mean, you can now you can summon units where you want the units to be, and now Balzar doesn't just can't be attacked on like every side. One gate. Do we have a second one? Going once. I mean, I guess we just attack
Yeah.
there and occupy it. And the Hellforge comes down. Good, we take that. I'll take a Hellforged. That demon is probably attacking Edia with the Hellforge chains. I mean, it's a little bit. Honestly, I'd put the Hellforge behind Balzar right now, so Balzar can attack the knight. And I think this is a spot I'd want to occupy. So I think I'd have Balzar shoot the knight and then pull the guard in. Guard attacks the knight. Well, but then no, I guess you want these demons attacking. I don't know. Oh, maybe he's listening to me. No, don't go back. I love this play. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, there better be a gate in the next
Now
one.
we're optimizing. Now we're.
Let's see it. God, the art in this game is so gorgeous. Like,
I cannot say enough good things about the art.
I'm looking at Sekhmet, Punkbeam's new avatar. It's a nice little guy over there.
I'm kind of mad that the original Sekhmet was a goddess and they just gender swapped the creature for no reason.
Oh, really?
And
Interesting.
it's not even a gender thing. Like I want more girl units. I'm just kind of it's established that I think she's an Egyptian goddess or something. I might be getting my mythologies wrong,
Oh,
but it's the kind of
yeah.
thing that grates a little bit if you happen to be familiar with that piece of lore. But that's such a minor complaint, and they've done such awesome things with with just the range of both genders being represented and also some non-human creatures. You're not sure what the gender is, so I'm not really complaining. But that's my little niggle about Sekhmet is you didn't have to take the name. You didn't have to take the name of an established mythological figure
Yeah.
and gender swap it for no real reason.
Yeah, that's true. The gate there, no. What? I want that gate so much. I mean, like, I could definitely see it being like safer and getting more use. I want that gate all the way back there though. No, this makes me sad. Yeah, come on. Get in there. Move 2 spaces forward. Yeah, I remember
You
like,
think about it, you're beaming him weak telepathic messages.
no, go forward. I just the only thing I know about Balzer is I want to go forward and I lose a lot of the time. I mean this is definitely a much more like stable, like you're gonna be able to use this gate and whatnot, but Balzer in the back, like with a volcanic blast, could really be threatening. I remember the Fungal Dwarves were originally called the Deep Dwarves, but like first edition people were just so mad that like this isn't the Deep Dwarves from first edition. This is just a different thing that he eventually changed it.
See that. So were you more how did you know that actually?
That's a good question. Plaid Hat Podcast, probably.
I can
uh,
see that. I definitely like the fungal dwarves being their own thing that we've just never seen before. This like I wouldn't have imagined a mushroom army.
yeah. I mean, and I think it works. I'm glad we have. Yeah, I don't. This is just weird. Like Balzar. Sorry, I'm just like jumping between trains of thought. Balzar's trapped. He's just trapped himself. Like he's stuck between like a gate and a forge place. Like it's like now the only line he can shoot down is on the left. So all Eddie has to do is be like, I'm playing the game on the right, and Balzar can't do anything. So I definitely would have rather keep Balzar's options open.
It'll definitely be interesting to talk about afterwards. I admit that insights coming out. I get cautious like this too. I definitely struggle with these factions where you just have to step on the gas and, go hell for leather.
Yeah.
I admire it when it's played against me, but it's definitely counter to my personality. It's much more comfortable for me to play what Eddie is doing right now, is try and optimize my defenses. I can kill that demon fairly safely.
Yeah. And now the gate's fully surrounded. Like, I think this is a tough spot for Balzar. Like, he's lost a lot of his momentum. Um, Forge isn't like Forge is just taking a bunch of damage. Gate is totally surrounded. I don't know. Like my hot take is here the defensive play might just like be a nail in a coffin for Balzar. Like he's just it doesn't feel good to get in there, but if you don't, oh, and 3 dice on the Hellforge, and that's sad. And then probably one more coming with exploit. So not
I always
getting,
forget you can exploit against a structure or against that particular structure.
yeah, 'cause it's also a unit, yeah, and we'll see. I mean, so Balzar's probably got to pivot and play a later sort of game, which a lot of times he just sort of can't do, but maybe we've got like a champion in the tank, got another Volcor, Devura, something. Um,
He's pretty high life, at least, for this stage in the game. I can't disagree with your take. I
yeah,
know I have to be in the right frame of mind to really commit to that offensive push. I definitely respect it. I respect players that can do it, and I personally find it tough to really go all in like that.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
easy for us to sit here and watch the game and be like, nah, armchair quarterback, you got to do this.
yeah. No, exactly. And I have no idea what the hand is, and I mean, yeah, and Balzar is like one of my weakest factions, so really, what do I know? And I feel like a lot of like how I played Balzar, like I tried to play a very defensive Balzar for months after he came out, and then eventually I think just like Watered in the Discord was like, no, you just got to go in and just blow up, and if you die, you die. And that sort of unlocked something for me. It was like I was given permission to just throw everything to the wall and just go aggressive. And he's like, it seems like like I have a better win rate, even though I'm taking way more risks, and I feel like a lot of it's outside of my control. I think my win rate goes up once I'm willing to take those risks, just because Balzar's econ game is just not it.
The league matchups really made, and I've said this, I think, in every stream that we've talked about Balzar, is that he played an atypical game in the two matchups we were given. And that showcased defensive Balzar, but we haven't really all collectively played a matchup that's just classic Balzar.
Yeah, which two have we've done versus cave
We've
goblins and
done versus Fallen Kingdom and versus Cave Goblins.
I
And I
see.
thought those were both great matchups, but they showcased very different
Yeah,
um, gameplay than
that's
what you would normally expect from Balzar. He had to play defensively against both of those, and he had tools for that.
yeah.
But neither of those were Balzar marching up the field to destroy you.
I want to see against Sarah, maybe like or just like something where it's just like he'll just destroy you.
Yeah, that's. I think that's probably. I'll put that in as a request for League. Is just Obsidian Dwarves needs a matchup where they can be Obsidian Dwarves.
Yeah, no, yeah, I hadn't realized that. I definitely agree.
No, it's. I mean, I'm just responding to what you said about wanting to play Balzar defensively. I feel like I practiced playing Balzar defensively for those two matchups because that was how he had to play. And then it was almost harder to pivot to playing him the way he wants to be played, which really is upfield volcanic blast in your face. And he
Yeah,
does that in the Cave Goblins game at the end, but early on you're just playing for survival.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And having a match like that in the league can also like just help a lot to talk about things. Like I know when I was a new player and I was in the league, I would lose my matches and then go watch what they did in Div 1 to learn things. So that could just it's just it's a great way to learn about the game because you're thinking about exactly what, like, you can just compare what you did to what someone else is doing because you just played the match.
This is almost embarrassing to admit. I didn't find out how to actually get to Div 1 matches until fairly late in my League journey. I didn't realize you could click on the division header and that would bring you to that page where you could
Yeah,
click through and see everyone else's games.
that's
I
funny.
think I would have honestly improved a lot faster if I had, but I just didn't realize that existed.
That's, I mean, it's good to be doing your own thing too. That's
But that really is what I love about League is everyone's mind is on the same matchup. People are talking about it on the Discord. Once you figure out the SW Zone UI, you can watch games.
yeah,
But
yeah,
in this case, it worked against Obsidian Dwarves a little bit because I don't think those games that anyone can go look at on League are the most representative of what this faction does.
yeah, for sure. And it's sort of interesting how dynamics change like that. Like there's like if I'm playing against cave goblins, like sort of no matter what faction I'm playing, I'm not playing vanguards. I'm playing against cave goblins. Like there's certain factions that it just feels like what you're doing is more just like playing to the particular faction's weaknesses than actually playing to your own faction's strengths, and to some more than others. Like, yeah, a lot of that for Wayfarers, a lot of that for Cool Doc, a lot of that for Obsidian Dwarves, like these aggressive
I
factions.
agree fully, but let's watch this because
Yeah.
Edia just landed some critical shots. We nuked a gate and we went 2 for 2 to kill an Oathsworn. So I definitely feel the tide of this game changing.
Yeah. I mean, Balzar, you got another gate. Um,
Falzar's got to have other gates somewhere in his deck. But we're running low on deck.
yeah. It's. I mean, that's at this point, it feels like I'll take anything at Balzar. Like, I don't feel like I can win the Eternal Count. I can. I don't feel like I can win the Eternal Council game against the Eternal Council. And what I meant to say was the end game. So like at this point, I would probably just want to just charge forward with Balzar and just hope I can get anything. Like, um, I want to be threatening those gates in the back. Um, just not able to right now.
That retreat might have been one that he can't charge forward from again.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. And I mean,
And did
good.
he just lose a card to the knight as well?
Yeah, he did. And I mean, good for him for sticking to the game plan. Like maybe he's got something like Volkor lined up or is planning another retreat. I mean, it's just good in general to be like, no, right now I cannot force a push. And
Well, that
it's
was a nice 3 for 3.
oh yeah, for sure. Were there any specials in that one?
I
Looks like
don't
no.
think so. That looks like the one boost Balzar had been sitting on.
Oh, that kind of hurts. But I mean,
Oh, there's another special.
I'm calling it behind for Balzar so much, but like I guess resources are kind of tied. Like I'd say Eternal Council is better, has better stuff for the end game in general, like better ways to use those resources, but it's not like we're like just crawling at
Well,
the end
Eternal
here.
Council knows what they bottom decked.
Yeah.
They can plan for their end game quite a lot better, as
Yeah.
assuming they reach the end game.
Yeah. It's kind of a dangerous spot for Edia.
Yeah, I'm wondering about how she's gonna
I don't
protect herself.
oh, she's just gonna shoot that gate, I see. Or she's gonna shoot the demon. Hopefully she doesn't miss. I guess she has 8 attack. Well, somehow Bazzo has managed to like use Edia at 4 health. um, that's quite impressive. And yeah, like there's unless like yeah, there's really just no combination of cards that gets to Edia here from a Balzar hand. I can't think of anything at 3 magic.
And that's always been the limitation of Balzar is this is not a faction that has extra moves. You get a little bit of extra reach with Ember Demon Summons and Hellforged Chains, but Balzar himself especially is predictable because there aren't any units forcing him, there aren't fancy shenanigans, you're just calculating, is he within volcanic blast range or not?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's true of the rest of the faction too. I don't necessarily think of it as a low mobility faction because they do have reach, but they do have low mobility. They are limited. They don't have fancy movement tricks.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's a big part of just playing this game in general is just like knowing your opponent's movement tricks and just always having those in mind. Just always being like, all right, Balzar, he can summon he can summon a Ember Guard and he can summon Ember Demons and he can have Hellforged Axe and all right, I gotta know that those things could be there. Those things could surprise me. And then you
Oof. No boosts.
no boost. That's a lot of no boosts in a row. And then no boost here, and it doesn't die. That's tough. That's tough. You were hoping to at least get some boosts off that first Oathsworn, so Balzar would have more dice shooting at the Sage. Um, that Sage is probably just gonna charge up and punch Balzar in the face. Exploit him.
Feels good to get an last attack with a dying unit like that.
Yeah, it really does. Against Balzar. I mean, that's so juicy. That's like up to 4 damage just on Balzar's face.
We talk strats all we want. I think Colby is
Sorry.
smart.
It,
You know what? I'm like a second behind you. Oh,
we got it. We got it.
oh,
Sorry. That's that's beautiful. That's perfect. That's just the nail the coffin. Like get punished. So,
oh.
sorry, you're about to say something.
I was going to talk about the emotionally satisfying moments of Summoner Wars, and you really can't get better than that. I
Yeah.
was talking about how we learned, from Aaron and Jexic's podcast that, Colby kind of designs for satisfaction rather than balance sometimes. I think the playtesters rein him in, but he seems to love these cinematic moments and just these really satisfying things you can do, like summon Malunar.
Yeah, yeah.
The moments when he is devastating, because that's painful. And
Yeah.
it's what we love to see as sadistic commentators.
For sure. I mean, and you could definitely argue that like, well, this game is already like Balzar's already struggling. Did Malinar really change anything? And I mean, you could argue that either way, but if it ends up being close, then it's like Malinar makes a big difference. Because it, boy is Balzar not gonna win the econ game anymore after that.
Where on earth are Balzar's gates? I mean, I know that's your line, but no, I can't think of anything else either.
Like not even playing what so like how
Well,
the other gates
no,
are
that was
bottom
boost.
four unless he's discarded some. Like the other gates are really the other two gates are both bottom four. That's crazy. If that's the case, that's not ideal.
I can't imagine when during this game, even if he was desperate for magic, he would have discarded a gate.
Yeah, as balls are, you never do it. Um, honestly, I don't even know if I would move up as Eternal Council. Maybe that'd be I mean, I guess busting down the gate is good, but it's just like I'm perfectly happy just sitting there with Malinar and just like punching the gate once every turn. And now Malinar could go down next turn. I mean, maybe not without like any sort of. I guess. I mean, maybe a volcanic blast could kill Malinar. Balzar moves to the right and up. Volcanic blasts for 2 and then shoots Malinar. And the Oathsworn also shoots Malinar. Now suddenly, um, Eddie doesn't have a board anymore.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I wonder if Bazzo just didn't have ranged units in hand and was getting a little bit frustrated. Like, I
Yeah.
want to have something to attack.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Like looking at Bazzo's hand and seeing him moving up with Edia, like maybe he's thinking like I don't have that much left. I need to get in there. Like I'm here being like, oh yeah, you got Katu, you're gonna have infinite value forever sitting in the back, but maybe that's just not the cards that Edia is looking at. And also two magic. I mean, it's hard
No,
to
it's
get that done.
entirely possible he discarded Katu early.
Yeah,
It's
that too.
entirely possible he just went, this is not going to end game.
Yeah. I'm so sad not to have the volcanic blast in hand here, but oh well. Um,
That's a late willpower draw.
yeah, shooting Malionar a little bit. Oh my goodness. I mean, you probably take that. Take that three. Yeah. Unfortunately, you don't get boost for destroying your own unit. That's a Balzar roll. You might as well re-roll that in hopes of something without specials. Like
Yeah.
same sort of roll. Yeah, there's very low chance you're getting
Uh,
it, but sometimes you do. Sometimes you don't roll any specials with seven, and it feels so good.
well, willpower is not you physically pick up the dice and turn them to the sides you want.
That would that'd be nice.
It
I'd
would be an
like that.
entirely different game if it were.
Yeah, I'm sure some that would make some people happy.
Oh, it'd make my kids. Actually, it's exactly what my son does. My almost 4-year-old. Literally, when we play kids games, he'll either re-roll until he gets like the color dice he wants. You know, we have colored
Yeah.
dice in various games. He'll either sit there re-rolling until he gets what he wants, or he will pick it up and physically flip it to the correct side.
Funny, funny.
And his preferences don't even correspond with gameplay, like which side of the dice he wants. Like there's no strategic rationale other than I want the yellow side up right now and I will exercise a toddler's iron will until I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, willpower, basically the same thing.
There's no willpower like a preschooler's willpower. Nothing on earth compares. It's like you want to reroll, I'll show you reroll.
Uh,
But just wait, give him a couple years, and he is the future of Summoner Wars. I called it first. He's
I
got a ways to go.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. You can I'd love to see like a Summoner Wars like kids league for like all the
You know, that's my dream. I was telling Shampoo this. In my dream universe, like I want Vexers, Donkeys, and Orange Lazarus's daughters to just grow up and show us how this game is played.
the
They all have daughters my age,
this
or the age of my
yeah,
daughter.
this like feels like the start of a movie or something.
I guess in that case, the daughters would be the knockoff sequel, the money grab sequel that doesn't even really make story sense. All right,
But
we're chatting about the next generation of Summoner Wars, and Balzar is alone by himself
Balzar's
on the
gonna build a gate.
battlefield.
He's not gonna be alone because he's gonna build a gate. Right? Yeah,
right?
there we go. Do we have another
Balzar
one?
is gonna one-shot Malunar and come right back into this.
I mean, Eddie is advancing, which makes me think that like Bazzar doesn't think he has anything, um, because you're definitely not advancing with Edia here unless you absolutely have to. And
I want to know whether he discarded Katu.
yeah, I mean, at this point, you're not gonna play him, so. And like here I am like the whole time being like, I don't like this play, I want to be more aggressive. And here Balzar is like winning the late game kind of. Oof. That gate's immediately punished, but that's okay. As long as we can summon literally anything, I'll survive. But I really like to see this. Like Balzar got in early, did some damage, and is now kind of winning the late game. That's not the sort of match I expected, so I'm super happy to see it.
I couldn't agree more.
Let's see like a Volcor or something. Like I want to see that 9 magic put to use. Volcor and Devura. I want I want everything. And Balzar, I mean 7 health Balzar is like that's a healthy Balzar. Most summoners you're at 7, it's like okay, time to retreat. Balzar at 7 is like, you're in your prime.
Well, if he summons one of his champs, that's like a two queens endgame in chess. There you go.
Yeah,
Two kings.
move both units up 2 spaces. Hope Balzar doesn't roll any specials. And yeah, I mean, Bazo has no magic, so like game's looking good. I don't really know what Bazo could do to respond to that. I feel so reactionary. Like I've switched on a dime to being like, oh yeah, no, Balzar is totally ahead right now. Like it's just like, oh yeah, I guess he is. I'll start saying that now. It's
I feel like this is what I root for in my head is when the game turns on a dime like that. When we're watching and commentating,
yeah,
when we're trying to showcase just why this game is so good and why we're so obsessed with it. It's
yeah,
just because of that tactical push pull with the overarching strategy of who's going to deck out first.
yeah, yeah,
I just love the balance between tactics and strategy. It's so much strategy without fiddliness, and it's so tactically tense that
yeah.
every move counts. And in a game like this, the momentum can shift on a dime.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the technical explanation for like why I like this game so much. As just like I don't like when it's just all tactics like chess, just like I need to plan out every single thing. I like the general strategy, and yet there's still like lots of just interesting minute positions and stuff like that.
Exactly. Like they really I could go on forever about the design of this game. I could go on forever about like the fashion on the in the card art.
Yeah,
But really, the thing that gives this game such staying power is this tension between what am I going to do this turn and what's going on long term
yeah.
and who has momentum right now. Am I going to get momentum later?
Yeah, and you gotta, some of those
Well,
decisions are kind of
losing,
instinct. Go ahead.
he's losing specials, but I this is going to be interesting. It's hard to see Eddie mounting a comeback, but there are still dice involved.
Yeah, I mean, I think she moves a space to her left and back and praise. Praise she doesn't
Yeah,
die next turn.
there's not much else she
I
can do.
And then the Enigma Sage moves, so she's only attacked on one side, and if Balzer has Volcanic Blast, she's probably dead. uh don't think there's much of an option.
No, but she's not dead this turn.
She's not dead this turn. She's not dead on her turn. Uh,
No one else is either, unfortunately.
6 boost, nothing to do. Like this is, yeah, I mean, I can relate to this Edia game. Like
Yes.
6 boosts at the end, nothing to spend them on. Katu is like sitting in my hand. I have 0 magic or something. Yeah.
Edia is honestly one of the factions I've struggled with most in League.
Interesting.
There's Maldaria wins that crown by a mile. I don't know when's the last time I've won a Phoenix Elves game in League. But Edia I find tough. Edia I really have gotten to so many. Even if I make it to this far,
Oh,
you just end up with that. I've got a million boosts and what?
I'm waiting for you to catch up. Holy crap. No way. No way. No way it ends like this. Oh, it's so close. We had totally forgotten about that. The volcanic blast in hand for the surprise victory. That was so close. The boosts are doing something. Edia had a plan all along.
Oh.
Wow. Wow. So close. All you needed is that like 25% chance to get it. That's beautiful. I love it.
I'm crying for Edia right now.
That's so that's just wonderful. And there's just like things like that that you only see with Edia. Oh, does Edia win? I mean, we probably have a blast in hand, right?
Oh my god.
Is it gonna come down for this 2-on-2, 2-on-2, and then blast for the win, or is blast gone? And that's game. Oh wow.
Ugh.
That's the difference of 1 health on either summoner was the game right there. That's
Wow.
that's really close. That's a lot of fun.
Oh.
Wow.
Bazzo says in chat, damn it, GG.
Wow, that's really crazy. All right, I am going to invite them to join our group over here. So we won't have to go anywhere.
Nice.
Keen Beans.
Oh,
Keen Beans, he's genuinely thought you had discarded that blast. He can check because if Bazzo had discarded the blast, it would have gone back to Punkbeam's discard pile. Hello, Bazzo,
Up,
you in?
guys?
Hey,
Yeah.
how's it going?
Oh, good. How about you?
Good. That game was so much fun to watch.
Oh my gosh. Well, at least I gave you a better game than the first one.
How's it going?
Good. How about yourself?
What's up,
Good.
punk?
Yeah,
Yeah, living up to your name.
that's right.
actually, I should ask, who's the big brother and who's the little brother?
Oh, the loser is the big brother.
Oh.
Yeah,
know.
I'm the younger brother.
It's brutal. He's been wrecking me lately. It's like 8 games to 0 in our last 8 right now.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Even though
I
all
know.
time we're pretty close, and
Pretty close, yeah. But lately, I mean,
not too far back, he had a 6-game win streak, which really pissed me off.
yeah. These rolls are killing me. I swear the dice gods hate me though.
Oh man, I really thought you discarded that volcanic blast
Oh,
because
no way.
Well, no, but there was like a chance earlier where I was like, oh, he could maybe use it, and then you went somewhere else. It was like, nah, you got rid of it. You got rid of it.
No, I was holding on to it. That's
and
the
then you went for that 3-for-3 roll, and I was crossing my fingers. I was like, oh my gosh, don't hit it.
Yeah, no, that volcano's the Edia surprise.
And then I almost missed my like Balzar went 1-for-4 and then lost a boost.
Yeah, finally
I
you
was
got
like,
some of my
man,
dice left.
if Volcor misses one of his 2 sword dice, I'm dead.
Yeah, well, when I missed that the kill on your guard the first time with my knight, I went 0-for-2 melee.
Oh, I
It's like
know.
that gave you the beast. It was like, oh my god, what is this? Even just your opening hand, it's like all of your hell forged. I mean,
Oh, it was, yeah. I think I started with 2 chains and an axe.
oh yeah, I know.
And then
You
my
had great
last
opening
axe
hands
came
and
towards the end, and I ended up discarding it for some magic and to try to get those last 2 gates out.
oh man, yeah, I couldn't get any. I mean, that Fungal Dwarves game, it's like as soon as I saw the opening hand, I was like, well, this is done. Because
Yeah.
there was nothing I could do, because going into it, it's like there's 2 things that I know are going to be helpful in that game, and that's going to be demand and release spores, but not when they're in your first hand.
But not immediately.
Yeah, it's like, well, okay, if I don't have these, I'm going to get picked apart by the Vine Mages, and then this game will just go longer, but it will be over. It's like it's over when it starts.
Yeah, the Vine Gates were awesome for a starting hand for me because it was just like, oh, let me just summon all this stuff, get a ton of boost, and let Mug go to town.
Yeah, I mean, there was kind of no point in playing that one. As soon as I saw the opening, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I might as well forfeit. It'll get to the same result fast.
It'll get there in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Fungal Dwarves can struggle with that. With that hand draw. Maybe real
Yeah.
quick. Before we keep chatting, I love all this so much. If you two could just give a quick introduction for yourself. And just like how you got into Summoner Wars and what keeps it interesting for you. What do you like about it? Maybe Bazzo, we could start with you.
Oh, sure. Well, Punkbeam is the one who got me into Summoner Wars in the first place. We're both into board games, and he was like, "I've been playing this game. It's pretty cool. I think you'd really like it." And I was like, well, "Okay, I'll check it out." And then, more than 1,000 games later, I've played way too much, and clearly, I don't know. I mean, I've been playing a lot. It's like, yeah, there's definitely times where it's like you feel like just quitting, and a lot of that has to do with the dice and the cards and stuff like that. Like when you see those opening hands and when you get those rolls that just never hit, it's like this game sucks. It's actually the worst when you cannot catch a break. But it's like there's still those moments of fun. It's like I like to play the games that are like more aggressive. Like I think it's more fun just to see what the cards can do and the different combos you can put together. So I hate playing games where people really just turtle, which unfortunately is a lot of like the top tier players, because it's the best strategy. It's just not the most interesting or the most fun. So I more enjoy the random games that I play than I do like the league or some of the tournaments, because I think those are just like higher stress.
Interesting.
And it's a
Yeah.
game for me that's like easy to make moves. Like I make moves at all times of day, when I'm doing all kinds of random things and there's a million distractions, but it's like it's fun. It's easy just to see kind of what you can put together. So I don't know. The game still stays interesting. All the new factions, I'm stoked on the new ones. They're both great, and so I think, and the community's cool. I mean, it's like I've never been a big like make online friends and games guy, but the Discord really keeps the conversation moving, and there's a lot of interesting personalities, and cool to see that it's international and you get to talk to some cool people. And I guess that's what I like about the game.
That's awesome. I could not agree more with all that. I love to hear it. And Punkbeam, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Punkbeam. I'm Keen Bean in the Discord server. The 2 names makes it a little confusing for everyone. I mean, I got into it, I think, like Shut Up and Sit Down, the review site, did a review of Summoner Wars, and I was like, oh, this looks awesome.
Yeah.
I love 2-player games just because they're so much easier to actually play because you only need one other person. So I mean, that's how I got into it, and I subscribed to like all the like physical sets. So I'm looking forward to getting the new ones next week. And then I really agree with Bazzo. I agree. I like the more aggressive games a little more. I don't like the long drawn out games, which is why I think initially I really liked Fungal Dwarves, because they, I liked sort of the infect nature of Fallen Kingdom, so I really was drawn to Fungal Dwarves at first. Now I don't love playing them or playing against them as often, just because I feel like their games really tend to be a long slog, and I like doing the real clever, big hit moves that Fungal Dwarves don't necessarily have. So I like that, and I think going with that, it's like my favorite time is whenever a new faction comes out and you get to play online and people don't necessarily know all the tricks. It's just really fun to play because people aren't guarding against certain moves, so you can actually feel pretty clever when you pull out these big moves that no one's expecting because no one's seen all the cards yet. And then what keeps me around also is just so many decks. The new releases are always great, and then I mean, there's still things that surprise me, and I've played a ton of games where it's like I was playing Vexer in the league, and I totally forgot you could summon the Phoenix without a gate. I destroyed his gates and was like, sweet, we're good. His gates are gone, and then out comes this Phoenix, and I was like, you got to be kidding me! You can summon that next to your summoner? That sucks.
He's a dragon, Punk.
Oh, is he? It's a dragon. That's right. It's not a Phoenix. It's a dragon. But and that's always really fun. And then I mean, meeting all the different people and doing the league is super fun. I mean, Baz plays a lot more games than me. I think he's like over 1,000. I'm only at like 560. Because I get to that point, I think, if I have too many games going where I'm just like, I don't want to play this game anymore. But when I've got a few games going at a time, it's a little more fun.
I think that's what happens to me. It's like I get like 8 games going, and then I'm losing in 3 of them, and then I get really excited.
You're just like
Then I'm just like, oh god. Then I start making stupid moves in the other ones because I'm tilted in one game. I start to go.
It's weird. It's weird how mental the game can be.
It's a chain reaction. Like the last league season, I had 3 different weeks of league games going at the same time. I mean, Punkbeam and fuzzy-marmot, you guys were both in my league, and that's like everything was so delayed because everyone was doing summer travels and stuff. So I had 6 league games going at the same time, and it sucked when when one game's going bad, it's like they all just start to domino.
Well, you pulled it out at the end.
Oh yeah, at the end, barely though. I mean, my record was pretty weak. I think it was like 4-6. It was it wasn't stellar for sure.
My games against fuzzy-marmot in that league were some of my most stressful games because it was like my last 2, and it was like if I beat her, it was like if you beat her, you're going up, and I was like, oh god, I'm not gonna do it.
The promised land. Now you're there.
Yeah. I won't last there, but I'm there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was just sitting there like, well, if Fiddleford wins, and then if I win, but then if I lose, I go down. And I was like, okay, I can't do this calculation.
I'd almost be glad to go down. There's lower pressure. I feel like even it's like even when you play like random games, that players that are in the league or know about the league, they're checking your stats, and then it's like, I just beat a guy in D2. Yeah, you and everybody else.
I'm curious. Do you guys have much experience playing real-time games before? With you both just like in this quick aggro play styles, or
I have never played a real-time game, and
I think we played real-time games our first like couple games, but you like didn't know how to play really yet.
Yeah, that was 1,300 games ago.
I think our first like 4 or so games, because it was during COVID, we like played a couple live games one night, but I think that's it.
Gotcha.
That's probably true. I've never played a game in person either. I've never touched the.
Oh wow.
I've only ever played online, and I love that online simplifies the rules. I think it's like a much faster way to learn how things interact because it's all put together so nicely.
Yeah. Well, there's no admin. You don't have to place the boost anywhere. You don't have to remember any of those rules. It does it for you.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't have to worry about that on top of just, playing poorly.
Yeah, I've played a couple live games online, and then I've played a few in person just with my girlfriend. Which isn't a fair match.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't play that often. She's played like 6 total games, and I've played 580, and that's just not comparable.
Yeah.
I think that's not an uncommon theme on the Discord.
Yeah.
We were talking about how I'm sure there's a lot of players who, a lot of couples who just go to a game store, pick up the physical game, and, hopefully just play the daylights out of it without ever interacting on the Discord or one person getting better than the other because
I
they
hope
play
so.
online.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
You know,
that'd be ideal. It's like my wife would never play. I don't think.
I get the sneaking impression from people on the Discord that it's a much better couples game than we realize, sitting through League and, getting obsessive, but you kind of have to not hang out on the Discord. I know there's a couple people that hang out and, try to not get too exposed and become too much better than their partner back at home, but it's a funny balance.
Yeah, I think that's tough because it's like the Discord is definitely. I mean, I think it's like I feel like I improved a lot when I joined the league with you guys, Fuzzy and Punkbeam at the same time, and then when I played the CB tournament for the first time, it's like you just get exposed to these these players that are extremely good, and you get to see some of the possibilities within the decks, which is interesting. And then that's what I like about deck building. I mean, I feel like deck building too is it's an interesting place just to see how cards interact. And like Jexic does, the most deck building, and he does a great job. And it's just cool to see the things that guys like him and Snaug put together. It's like it gives you a better understanding of the individual cards' abilities, I think.
I love following the deck building channel, even though I have really no intention of deck building anytime really soon. Much as Jexic is always on my case to give it a try, I just like reading what people do in deck building because I think it gives just a different take on all these individual cards. I just find it interesting. It's just and I loved watching the deck building tournament too for the same reason. Is it just makes you think about the cards differently and how people use them.
Yeah. I haven't done much deck building either, and that for the sort of the same reason where I'm just like I'm not overly interested in it, but I do like seeing what people do with it. I just get really frustrated when I play a deck building game and there's something just out of left field that kills me that I never thought was going to be there, and it just infuriates me. So,
or the Brub that you see coming a mile away, but
the Brub deck is just the worst.
Yeah.
I think one of my most terrifying moments of Summoner Wars was when I accidentally queued into deck building instead of the base decks. And just seeing the wrong thing come charging out of a gate made my head explode.
Oh my gosh, where did the Beast Rider come from?
Uh-huh.
I was just like, I'm out of here, gone. I don't want to about that again.
Yeah, I think the Snaugs and Jexics will chase you away from deck building if you queue in there too often, I think.
I mean, is Snaugs back in the league? He is, right?
Yeah, he's in my division.
Oh gosh, yeah. I was like, I thought he rejoined, and I was like, man, when he makes his way back up, we're all in trouble because he's really good.
Yeah, he definitely gives me a lot of trouble.
I played him in some tournaments like early on, and those were some of my proudest early moments. Was like I beat him in a tournament with the Fungal Dwarves in like a really aggressive Fungal Dwarves game, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. But it's like he's so hard to play.
I don't know what it's like to be that player with a target on your head, whenever you just queue up randomly, maybe you haven't had your morning coffee or your kid was up all night.
Yeah.
Everyone is out for blood against you.
What's weird is I still don't feel like I have a target on my head, even though I probably do, because I just feel like I probably actually belong in like D2, D3.
Yeah,
like
it's fun. Every time I queue against Orange Lazarus.
D2.
Oh yeah, I mean the top 3 divisions are all just so hard, and everyone's so good. And I mean, there's a few standouts. I mean, Vexer is unbelievable at this game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think even down to like D4. I mean, you got guys in like D5, and there's even
people
coming into the league.
There's guys who are so good all across the league.
It's like I'm glad I have some time before we find ourselves in the same division.
I find fascinating is now we're the, I kind of think of us as the new kids, even though we're not anymore. We're the ones that have now been around forever as far as their.
Yeah.
I gotta say, we've been around a while at this point.
Well, I mean, I do definitely think of you. I mean, it's funny, like you two and Vexer and Shampoo are the ones that I think of as the same cohort as me. That
Yeah, I think we all started around the
time.
same time. Well, because I've played Vexer. Gosh, I've been in the same division as him like 4 times, I think, and I have never won a game. Like he's the one player where I'm just like I match up and it's like, oh, this is a loss. Like it doesn't matter who we're playing as. He's just that good. I think the next closest to him is like Orange Lazarus. I think is really tough, but I think I have at least one win against Orange Lazarus.
Yeah, he just beat me yesterday in a game I thought I had.
Yeah.
No, I'm curious with you guys though, since we all started out in D6 together. What was your ambition coming into League? Like, were you guys gonna? I know when we were in, I don't know, like D4, D3. I think I queued into Punkbeam, and you mentioned wanting to climb the League ladder together with your brother. But what?
Oh yeah.
D6. Like, was it I'm gonna scale the gates? Was it let's give this a try?
I think for me, I really only got into the league because Baz was like, "Hey, I'm joining the league," and I was like, "Oh shoot! Like, I guess I will too." And at first, because at first I was like, "Oh, I just want to keep this sort of a casual game." And then once I got into it and like was talking to everybody and like talking to you, fuzzy-marmot, and like all the other people in D6, I think there was Hand Me, I think, in that group too that like went undefeated and then disappeared. But it's like it was a lot of fun like chatting with people, and it's like, yeah, of course I want to climb the ladder. I think as I've gotten closer to the top, I've had to sort of like de-stress on it somewhat, where I'm like, hey, it doesn't matter, like if I drop, I drop, like it's bound to happen.
Yeah,
But like I
that.
want to stay up for sure. Like I want to, obviously my ambition would be to win. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I want to try to stay up top as long as I can.
Yeah, it's like I hate losing. I hate losing. These last 2 games, I hate losing. In the league, even in the public games, even when I know I'm not playing, my best, when I'm just kind of throwing cards on the table. But for sure, it's like when I join the league, it's like, yeah, of course you want to climb. It's like you want to kind of prove yourself, I guess, against these players. It's like, some of it you can't control as much, and then there's a lot of really talented players in the league, and so it's super tough. It's like right now I'm like 1-3 in the league right now, and my group is of course super difficult. At the second division, so yeah, it's like I'm kind of the same way, where it's like I've had to take a step back and be like, okay, this doesn't actually matter. It shouldn't affect your mood for the rest of the day when you lose.
Sometimes it will affect my mood. I'm like, what am I doing? This is dumb. Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, same. It's like I got league and I got fantasy football season, and I'm losing in both, and I just can't let that. I can't let that affect me too much.
I killed him in fantasy football last week too, just so everyone knows.
That's true. This has been a couple weeks of just embarrassment.
Yeah.
I find there's like certain moods where I just like should not be taking turns. Like if I'm just
Oh,
like
absolutely.
late at night and it's just like, oh god, I have like 5 turns to take and I'm just like don't want to do any of them. I just like whatever.
When you start dreading moves, you start playing really bad.
Yeah.
When you're just like, I don't want to do this, but the timer's ticking, I have to make a move, and then you just screw up.
Yeah, I've done that a lot. There's times where I'll start a move and then I'm like, you know what? Maybe you should go to sleep.
I've done that too. I've started to move, rewound all the way back, and went, this is the morning. This is for tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
I have definitely learned not to take middle of the night turns. Like
Yeah.
no matter, if I'm up early, I'm up early. But there's late night turns, and I'm up at 4 a.m. because my kid refused. My kid needed to go potty or something,
Yeah.
and I've learned that Summoner Wars does not actually put me back to sleep.
No.
No, because then you just think about, I was like last night I was just dreaming that I would get the double demand on the FD,
Yeah.
and I did just immediately.
In your opening hand.
Yeah, so I accidentally made that happen, and it was a huge mistake.
Yeah, I thought your demand in that game was a little weird with your carrier. I almost thought, even though it was a full health beast, you'd do it on him and take out the Vine Dancer.
Well, I thought about it, but the thing is, I wanted another carrier to get back because I didn't. The thing I like about Fungal Dwarves is when you get carriers in your first hand, so you can discard, so you actually have something to fill the board
discard
with.
and have a ton of magic. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have anything like that. I had nothing. So it's like I didn't want the demands clog up my hand forever. So I was like, well, and then when the carrier missed on his first roll, anyway, another 0 for 2 melee. It was like, wow. It's like, that's done. It's like if I don't hit that, and then I didn't hit the beast the first go, it's just like what's the point?
So you punished the carrier by murdering him.
Yeah. Well, I needed the carrier, yeah, so that because I thought maybe the luck will come back. I mean, in that turn I went 2 for 5 melee.
Yeah, I mean that was a bad. I think that's probably right. That was a bad turn.
Yeah, I mean on the opening turn against Mug, it's like you're just gonna get punished, and clearly that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, my original plan in that game was to go for your gate, but then it just sort of opened up.
Yeah, it didn't matter. I mean, it's like I probably should have, stood back and hid, but it really wouldn't have mattered that much at that point. I would have just been delaying the inevitable because I didn't have the cards. It's like it wouldn't have. It's like it's kind of frustrating when the podcast that that Aaron and Jexic were doing. It's like Colby's like, I don't feel like this is a luck game. It's like, well, I disagree. Anytime you have dice and you have randomized cards, it's like there's definitely an element of luck. And I know that, a lot of the most skilled players can find ways around that. But there are definitely hands where I just feel like there's nothing you can do. I mean, because you won't have those tools later on that you need. You can't let them clog up your hand. But in certain matchups like that one, it's like I feel like those tools are essential because the Vine Maids just pick you apart. And when you had both those early gates, it's like, okay, well, here comes infinite boost.
Yeah,
and,
infinite boost.
The witches are coming. I couldn't get to the gates. I mean, they're just really just.
Man, I love those witches. When that deck is firing, it's good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it definitely is.
Which there's definitely luck to a point, but I mean, but then I see players like Vexer who just always seem to win, and it's like, okay, well, there's ways to counteract that. Apparently, I just don't know them all.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's like luck has a limit when your skill threshold is so high, but mine isn't there, so I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, it's tough. That first game, I feel like you could talk a lot about what to do when you're behind with Cool Duck. I remember when I first joined the league, I asked a question in the Fallen Kingdom voice channel of if I draw both pyres turn 1, what do I do? And then that sparked a whole discussion. And Donkey.
Oh gosh, I hate that hand.
Yeah, Donkey said hold them both, and so I've been doing it ever since. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
wow,
no way.
Maybe that's the trick.
I think I'm discarding at least one, or I'm finding an excuse to summon off of Ret early and using one right away.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I've been doing lately because I pull that hand a lot as FA.
Me too.
And so now I'll try to summon early and try to claw back. 2 or 3.
That is still one of my favorite decks. I love Fallen Kingdom.
Oh yeah, me too. It's one of the most fun to play.
Yeah. I think that's what Donkey said too. Play the first one when you've only taken 4 damage or something. Well,
just heal. Just get a couple free units.
Yeah, and I'm curious. I don't know what the crazy Fungal Dwarves players would say Like they tend to be more like passive and hold stuff than I would, but like if I see that hand of like 2 demands and a release the spores, and I'm like, I'm not playing any of those cards in the next 5 turns, I would pitch them. Like, and I'd be like, I know this is gonna hurt me, but like for me to have any chance of this game, I just need other cards. So
Yeah, I think I would have too.
Yeah, and I probably should have, but I think going into that matchup, it's like I just felt like those cards were going to be that's it. Like because you have to hit Mug really hard, really fast if you want to get her down, and because otherwise, it's just going to be the regeneration and all that stuff, and the Vine Mage will take her away and all those things. So, yeah, it's like I want to be able to use them, but I also it's like I didn't see carriers in any hand after that.
Oh gosh.
So there was no real chance of building the Mushroom Fortress. And so I don't know. I felt like that game was lost already at the first hand, so maybe that's why I definitely did not play that well. But
it's tough. And maybe we only got a few more minutes here. Maybe we can chat about the Obsidian Dwarves Eternal Council game. This game just like continued to surprise me like over and over again. I think what surprised me the most, maybe I'll dig for this turn. Is it here? Yeah, I think it's turn 11, but it's the turn where Punkbeam, you think about moving up and placing a forward.
Yeah, and placing the forge and the gate.
Yeah. And then you end up not doing it. And I'm sitting here commentating and be like, I really want Balzer up there putting on pressure. And
I wanted that too.
That.
And that's yet, I figured he wanted it.
And yet it worked out for you in the end. Like in the end, somehow you won a late game against the Eternal Council.
Gosh.
I'm still racking my mind for how that happened.
So I mean, the reason I didn't end up placing that forward gate and that Hellforge is I knew I'd given him Volcanic Blast, and in the moment I knew when I used it I was giving it to him, and I was like, he's low enough on health that I don't think he's gonna push and be able to use it. And then when I moved forward and placed that gate, I was like, oh shoot, he probably has an insight. And he's probably still has the Volcanic Blast, and he had that gate on his right-hand side that he could have summoned something from and taken the gate down at least 1 health. And then Volcanic blasted the gate and me for 4 damage, and then done an insight on me, which would have it would have been game over, I think, for me.
Yeah, that's exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah, and I went and placed it and thought about it and went, no, this is a terrible move.
So you just debunked like a solid 10 minutes of my commentary because I just forgot about the Volcanic Blast. But absolutely, you got to play around.
I thought about the Volcanic Blast, was like, he could take out the gate and take me down 4 health and then blast me with insight, and I would just be done. Like I would die. And then I figured, I know Balzar's not necessarily a long game champ, but I don't think Adia is either, just because I think she like really tears through that deck with all the card draws. So I thought maybe like I could back off and work it in my favor in the end.
Yeah, and I was never gonna get enough magic to get Katu out. It's like, there was I was struggling taking down one of your last whatever they are, slinger guys. I can't remember what they're called in the OD deck, but
the Oathsworn, or
the Oathsworn. It's like I could have tossed a knight at him and gone for the melee, or I went for the sage instead just to get a little bit of extra range.
And it only went 1 for 3.
Yeah, but that was enough at that point, I think.
Yeah.
But it's like that was a struggle. The end game was tough because I didn't have enough ranged pieces left. But yeah, that's exactly right. Like if you would have moved that gate up there, I think I had, because I had the inside. I think I already had a Seek on Edia, or I had another one in hand maybe, and then I was going to throw a Sage behind him. And
I was so close to doing that move and was like, oh no, this would be game over.
Yeah, that was the hope. It was yeah, but no, I mean, that was tough. It is hard to go end game, and the OD matchup I think is one of the more fun ones to play with EC, actually, partly because you get to take Volcanic Blast when you get that opportunity, and you can see volcanic blast coming. Like when Balzar starts to push, it's like, okay, he's got a blast. It's a, you know, you can kind of tell when that's about to happen a lot of times, but there's nothing you can really do about it because he's gonna destroy. You know, I mean, you can spread your pieces around, but at that point, he had Gates, I think, in good position to where I didn't feel like I had a place to go. I'm sure there's other players that watched that were like, "Yeah, you're an idiot. You should have done something different." But no, I mean, yeah, the end game is hard. It's like if you don't get the magic for Katu, and Edia is already on, what was it, like 4 or something at that point. It's, you know, I have to push and have to hope for that Hail Mary, you know, 3 for 3 range that I ended up taking. You know, didn't hit.
Yeah, I think Learn is one of the most fun cards in the game, just as far as like it just opens up so many weird combinations for Adia, where it's like I've won a game by stealing a blood summon and using it to get behind the lines for like the last 1 health I needed, and it's just like all these cards that are not necessarily meant to be in this deck that all of a sudden you get to use, which is just hilarious. It's like a little element of deck building almost in the base game, and it's just kind of wild.
Yeah, it's I think that Learn and Mind Control are 2 of the most surprising cards, like every time.
Yeah, and they don't all like Learn doesn't always steal anything. Usually, like a lot of the time, it's just there to get you the boost. But it's like when it works, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, as long as you get something good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll toss events on an Edia when she has Learn just to give her something bad and deny the boost.
I think there's some events that she like literally can't use. Like you can give her like release the spores.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
which like does nothing for her.
Yeah, so often if I see that opportunity, I will do that to an Edia just to deny her the extra power.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we are looking at almost out of time here. Just a few more minutes. But Fuzzy, do you have any last questions about the game here?
No, I think we've covered it pretty well.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, it's been a ton of fun. I wish we had time to chat more.
Look forward to watching the commentary.
We'll come back for Rocky 2, and
it'll
be a it'll be a better.
Goodness. It's been so much fun just getting to chat with you guys from the community, everyone that's been on the Scuffle. Like it's people we've played with or against or watched games of for so long.
It's fun. It's funny to hear voices actually, because
I was thinking the same thing.
I'm just so used to names, and then I hear the voice with the name, and it does, I think, demystify it a little bit, but it's also it's like, oh yeah, I'm playing a person, not just like some random,
I think this is the first time I've actually talked to somebody in the Discord, I think.
Yeah, I've never heard Punkbeam's voice in my life, and so this is really fascinating because he doesn't sound at all like I expected him to.
Yeah, I still think like Vexer is an AI simulated alien or something. Like
yeah, well, that was a theory about Doug for so long too. You know, I mean, when Doug started joining the tournaments.
Yes. That guy's name is hilarious.
But I don't think it's a thing anymore. I don't think they call the AI.
Yeah, they got rid of Doug, didn't they?
Oh, that's a shame. Well, at least it lives on then.
I mean, now there's like again that entire new generation that like has no way to get the joke.
Yeah, they don't understand who Doug is.
Yeah, these young bucks. I used to have to walk through the snow, uphill, both ways to fight a guy named Doug.
Just to play Summoner Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
no, I'm thrilled that Doug is now on the Discord more and actually interacting rather than just kind of pop on like, hi, I exist.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And I think Doug has been recruiting some new players because if I'm not mistaken, I think Doug is one of our Chinese players in Summoner Wars. And so I've seen a lot of new names that I always wonder. I was like, is this a Doug recruit? Because they're pretty good.
Well, Well, it's tough if English isn't your first language to
It is
just hang
tough.
out on the Discord and follow all these conversations.
Yeah, that's how I feel too, and I'm glad that those players are still, participating and being on the Discord, because I know that that's definitely difficult. But we have a great international community, and like, a lot of those players are some of my favorites. Shout out to Adamant 3 Run.
Shout out to like the Polish community, the German
Yeah.
community, the Chinese
Sure.
community.
Totally,
a
yeah.
lot of Polish and German. Yeah, it's all over.
Yeah, it makes it really interesting, and it's cool to see when they do their sort of localized in-person tournaments. Like that's great. It's like it's cool. All these people that go to Gen Con and stuff. It's too far for me, but
Yeah. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I
I sent the
someone
link.
was talking about this. When they have 66 factions, we'll all just get together somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I sent a link to my friend in the Netherlands of the Twitch stream, and he's never played this game, but it's like usually I play some games with him on the weekends, and he was like, "Oh man, you're really killing it." And he's like, "I don't actually know what's going on. Are you winning?" I was like, "I'm trying to kill that old lady," and he's like, "That doesn't sound very nice to you."
Oh yeah, yeah. When there's 66 factions, we just need 66 people. And,
yeah,
play
one
'em
person
all.
on each faction.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm almost like getting sad, being like, we're at 20 factions, 2 more, and we're like a third of
Oh.
the way there. Like, I'm almost sad.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
like it's too close. Like, someone.
Oh my god, yeah. It's crazy.
No
I don't know how many more ideas they've got, but they must have some.
They keep.
Oh,
I
I
love Crimson. I love Crimson Order and the Mountain Vargoth. I think they're both so much fun.
Yeah,
So
they're great. I want to see a frog faction. I need a card that can leapfrog other cards within the deck.
You know, you
That's
might just
what
be getting it. You've
I
heard
feel
of
like-
Yeah, that frog faction's coming.
Is it?
is it nice?
That's next week.
Oh.
We have the Forge
Wait,
and the
so
Groats
you
next
really
week.
didn't know there was a frog faction coming?
No, I might have
That's
read.
next.
Maybe I
It's-
read that on the spoiler page, and I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, that's a cool idea. It was mine.
Yeah, we got art for them and everything. We'll have to see.
Oh dang.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
Yeah. Well, I gotta wrap up the stream. This is so much fun. Thanks for coming on. It's
Thanks
great
for
to-
having us.
Great to
Yeah,
get to meet
thanks
both
for
of you
having us.
guys. We'll be back with another Scuffle next weekend. And feel free to message fuzzy-marmot or me if you're interested in just playing on a Scuffle. We're just all about just playing games and having fun and chatting about it. So yeah, thanks again, everyone, and thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks again, all of you.
Thanks,
you, guys.
I'd do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it again for sure.
All right.
All right.
As I was
bye-bye.
like, I want a rematch.
Yeah,
I want a
exactly.
rematch.
Grudge.
All right. See ya.